Hello there, Serum17 once again. This is my Kingdom Hearts 2 critical difficulty video walkthrough. We are swiftly moving through Hollow Bastion towards Demyx the second time. Demyx on the rerun is actually kind of tough. He killed me a few times, and before him, I don't think I died to a boss in quite some time. I probably did at some point. Ooh, this move right now, fantastic move to use Reflect on. If I knew how good Reflect was, I would have probably been using it, but, you know, alas, I didn't. But this might be the encounter where I learn. Because Demyx does a move where he dashes towards you with his saxophone, or it's not a saxophone, is it? It's a sitar, I think. Some kind of Indian guitar, or that way, Middle Eastern kind of thing. And he has these grand pails of water that follow him, these phalanxes of water. It's terrifying, actually, if you had to face it in real life, because water's a pretty destructive force. And he does it incredibly quickly, and I don't think you can guard against it, and of course I didn't have any kind of dodge option, so it was kind of get lucky or hit him, and even then it was a bit of a trade. So it was a pretty rough situation. I could get it where I could beat him up, but as soon as he got into the mentality of spamming that move, he would put me down to low life insanely quickly. And it kind of sucked for a while, because he killed me about 3 or 4 times, and I never remember having any issue with this boss at all, except for the first fight, where you have to smash all the clones that he generates. Ooh, this is interesting. So I'm not too sure of the name of this enemy, but it's some kind of dancing enemy. They remind me of Joys off of Bayonetta. And of course, this came way before Bayonetta, so before anybody does the ever cliched accusations of copying, which I always found really strange when people do that. And I think that stems from just an overarching respect for ignorance, because we're all willfully ignorant of certain features in almost everything. And when somebody says this is the first instance of it, do you really know? Because I know I don't. There are a hell of a lot of things that I do not know, and I'm going to bet a lot of money that you're the same, and that's nothing against your intelligence, it's just nobody knows everything. And to say something is the first, I hope you're learned on that subject. I hope you're literate with it, because this is the internet, it's the most pedantic place on the planet. There's a lot of contrarians, a lot of polemic people, and they're going to try and prove you wrong regardless of if they care or not, because it's just kind of that first response that people have. But here is Demyx, and at the very beginning it's 50 forms within 40 seconds. So the best way to destroy the forms is either to use Wild Dance, but of course it's a reaction command, and whenever you're using a reaction command there's always the chance it's not going to work so well because you're at the mercy of RNG. If you're not interested in that, spam the Fire Spell. The Fire Spell's really good here. You can alternate between Magnet and Fire Spell if you want to, and you can get like a chain going, but every so often you'll notice they vacuum in towards you anyway. So the Fire Spell is incredibly useful, and after you get away from the clones, you get to beat this guy up. I have no idea what that is. It was almost like a special move. He just went into kind of a cutscene and took off a lot of life. But at this point, you can probably reflect back those projectiles. You can still use the Wild Dance. It's definitely one of the great ways to hurt him. It does big damage and it gives you invincibility. So as soon as I came out of it, I directly went into the limit dodge with everybody, the Trinity limit. Unfortunately, it can be difficult to keep him in this, but it's a double whammy here. We're using it more for invulnerability than anything else, and it worked out really well then because we managed to catch him. Oh, here we go. It must have been a reaction command that I made a mistake in. If you can get him in the air, feel free to wail on him, but just be aware. Oh, here it is. This is the move that I was having a lot of trouble dodging. And he only does it when he starts to die, which is kind of cliche, but here we go again. More forms. Do not fear the forms. Of course, if you don't do it in the time limit, it is instant failure, which is kind of scary, but they also give you a great opportunity to damage him, and they give you a guaranteed stun afterwards. However, he can break out of your attacks. I have no idea what the threshold is on this particular boss, but there's a mechanic in this game which I must have discussed, because it's very important, and it's kind of a nemesis system within his damage parameters, where if you hurt a boss too quickly, if you do too much damage or you exceed, the barrier that they have on how much damage you can deal to them each time you get an opportunity. They have an ability to counter you, and it's an incredibly dangerous one because it matches a lot of your damages. It does incredible damage, it completely armors through what you do. It's an ultimate fuck you move for a bad situation, and unfortunately a lot of the bosses on this game have that. So if you're getting into an instance against a boss where you're doing a combo, it looks like everything's going fine, and then he counterattacks you big time, it means you're exceeding it. And the key to victory in this game is learning those thresholds. As soon as you know how many hits you can get without the repercussions, that's what you want to stick to, and that's where you'll have the most success. But as far as Demyx goes, exploit his weakness for summoning those creatures, use the limits, use your drives, and if you've got Reflect, it's going to save your ass there because it's so good, guys. I can't even tell you how good it is. Use it.